I am very happy to have the opportunity to state my position on the 8th Amendment into the record of the Dáil today. I have always believed that standing by my principles and speaking from the heart will never send me too far wrong, and that is how I approached the issue from the very beginning. This is a very contentious and polarising issue in Irish society and has been for decades. As an Irish citizen, I have put politics aside on many occasions in the past and reflected honestly on this issue. Indeed, I have spent much time in recent days and weeks reflecting upon this issue as we move towards a referendum, and pressure comes upon politicians from the public who elect them to office to take a stance and state their position. Following such periods of reflection, I have always come to the same conclusion. I am a pro-life person. I believe in the rights of the unborn, as they are currently stated in our Constitution, and believe these rights must be protected at all costs. However, as a public representative, I also have a responsibility to my constituents, the people who have voted for me in numerous local and general elections, which I have the honour to represent, and are well aware of my beliefs in this regard. Therefore, I believe I have a mandate from the majority of my constituents to be a pro-life politician also. I am opposed to the outright repeal of the 8th Amendment, as I believe the rights of the unborn, as currently stated in our Constitution, must be protected. I am opposed to unrestricted access to abortion up to 12 weeks. This is not to say that I do not respect and accept the work which has been carried out over many weeks and months by representatives of all parties and none on the Joint Committee on the 8th Amendment of the Constitution. This is not to say that I do not respect and accept the views of my colleagues, my constituents, my family and friends, and indeed any person who considers themselves pro-choice. Everyone is entitled to their views and their opinion on this subject. I am hopeful that all sides respect the views of one another and that respectful debate takes place over the next few months. I firmly believe in democracy, and that entitles everyone to have their opinion and viewpoint. I am a lifelong believer in democracy, and that is why I became a politician. I believe in democracy down to my very bones. This is why I firmly believe the Irish people are entitled to have their say on this matter for the first time in nearly 35 years. The Government has committed to holding a referendum on the 8th Amendment. This is now a reality, and I support the people's right to have their say in a referendum on any matter. But if the question is put that we should have an outright repeal of the 8th Amendment and replace it with legislation that will legislate unrestricted abortion up to 12 weeks, I cannot support that. This is my long-held personal and political stance, and one that I did not reach lightly. Ultimately, I will respect the result of the referendum as the will of the people of Ireland. I wish to conclude by stating that if I am truly honest with myself on the 8th Amendment, there are areas about which I have great concern. The situation by which women are purchasing unregulated illegal abortion pills over the internet is an area that must be seriously looked at. This is a dangerous practice that requires the Government's attention when drafting any legislation. If we can provide more adequate supports and resources that will assist the women in this position outside of unrestricted abortion, we must seek to do that. I also have concerns about rape and incest. These women in such a harrowing situation are obviously very traumatised and require the State's support at every turn. But they are two lives to be considered in such instances. Also, there are many well-documented cases of people who are grown adults and human beings that walk among us today who support the rights of the unborn and are against abortion. This shows that termination is not always the answer. I also have concerns surrounding babies that are deemed to have a fatal fetal abnormality. I don't like using that term, but this is the term which is mostly commonly stated these days. I am on the record as stating if appropriate medical personnel conclude that the mother's life is at risk, and if appropriate medical personnel also conclude beyond all medical doubts that the fetus will not survive and both parents are in agreement, then yes, at a last resort, abortion should be considered in this case if deemed medically necessary. But this is just not black and white issues. The word abortion is repugnant and abhorrent to me personally. The 8th Amendment is the only protection of the unborn in our society, and for that reason, to me, it has to be retained, or if amended, it must still be the right to hold that in the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Aylward.